Hey everybody, welcome. Tony Avitia, Fatherpreneur here, and I want to do a quick video today about, have you ever you're trying to increase your sales, or you're trying to increase your business, and you know you're doing good, but you know you have the ability to do better, or maybe you're like the number 2 or number 3, and not always the number 1 salesperson, and you can't figure out like what it is that other number 1 person's doing, because I mean, you might have the same skill level, you might have the same talent, you might even be a little bit better, and or your business is just not getting to that next level where you want to go, and like you keep hitting a dead end, or like stuff keeps happening, or it does good and then it fails, and you always have like this constant ebb and flow. And I'm starting this channel. I really have no idea why, because I'm going to be saying all the bad stuff that I've done, which is it's like being a confession on camera. But my wife knows everything bad I've done. I believe that I've told her. So I really want to share this with whoever wants to listen, okay? Because since I have started honoring God, and I've also been learning about the Stoic philosophy. So I guess if believing in God is not your thing, but I really think like these leaders, us business people as leaders, really need to go back to having faith in God and living with integrity and doing the right thing. Because for most of my life, I always thought I was honest and trustworthy and and doing good things, but like now that I look back on it, there was a lot of times where I didn't do the right thing that I thought I was doing. But now looking back on it, I thought I was, but I really wasn't, and it took me like a major thing in my life to figure out, like as my wife says, talk about the long sinking. It took me like 10 years to figure out that you need to live with integrity all through the day, like through everything. Like it's the little decisions that are the most important. It's staying integrity with the little things that is the hardest, that gets us off, I believe. Because since I have just made sure to be super on top of it, and I've been learning about the Stoic philosophy, and if you haven't learned about the Stoic philosophy, it's like Marcus Aurelius, one of the best Roman emperors of all time. There's Seneca, one of the other Roman senators. One of them was like in prison, one of them was the emperor of Rome, and they both lived the same way. They both lived with integrity. They both didn't care what other people thought. The whole principle. So if you don't believe in God, but I put it all on God, because God might be, the Stoic philosophy might just be an interpretation of God's rules. Either way, whatever makes you feel better, but I think we all need to go back to trusting and honoring God. Whether God is like some old white guy, I don't necessarily think you need to believe in an organized religion. I just think you need to have some sorts of spiritual presence. Because I mean, which religion's right? I mean, there's like 3 billion Buddhists. There's like, a million Muslims, or a billion Muslims, or so who knows which one's right? So I don't know about organized religion, but I know there's a spiritual being or energy of the universe, and a lot of people are afraid to talk about it now. And I listen to, since I work at home, I listen to Grant Cardone and Patrick Bet-David and Ty Lopez and Gary Vaynerchuk and all these superstars, and a lot of them do bring it up sometimes, but they don't like focus on it, because obviously it alienates a lot of people who just don't believe in God for whatever reason. And like I didn't, when I was like 17 or 18, I always thought like I was so smart, and I was like, well, if a man and his sister have a child and it becomes mentally deformed or retarded or whatever, then how did Noah and his family, how did they populate the earth? How did it not, brother and sister, not make all these, quote unquote, handicapped kids or whatever? And so I thought I had it pegged there. But what I've learned in life is, and like Tony Robbins says, you can take all the parts of a Rolex and put it into a hat. but it doesn't become a Rolex. It needs intelligent thought to be put together, to work. You know what I mean? So it's probably something we don't understand, but the easiest way to think about it is God. You know, and God and the God, the universe, the energy. You need to do right all the time. So if you're having problems, if you're having troubles, if you're not going to that next level in sales, since I have really concentrated on everything, like even any little, I should have wrote down some examples, but like anything you go through the day, like you tell your friends, oh, I can't make it to that. Instead of making up a lie, tell them the truth. Just say, I don't want to go. You know, if your kids ask you something, tell them the truth. Tell them why you're not going to do it. If your wife asks you something, like say maybe you're not doing that good, but you're a superstar, and you go to the bar with your friends after work, and your wife goes, how many drinks did you have? Oh, I only had 2 or 3, but you had 5 or 6. You know, it's little stuff like that. If you're on your taxes, like I just did my taxes, and I only wrote off what I had a receipt for, and I tried to be as honest as possible with it. Now, I definitely utilized all the law code to my advantage to make sure I didn't overpay, but I did whatever I had a receipt for and whatnot, and I kept it within the rules of what they have. So all those little things add up. So I invite you to analyze yourself, which is the hardest thing in the world to do, to take a look at yourself and say, hey, am I being honest? And when you interact with people, ask yourself, am I being honest? Am I saying the right? Am I doing the right thing? Am I being full of integrity? I love, actually, the reason I wanted to spark this video today is I get Joel Osteen's daily email or whatever, because I love that guy. I mean, some people don't like him because he's a mega pastor or what. I mean, and that's another thing. Why are you mad at people for doing good? Like, what? I mean, that guy has done nothing but help people, and people, you know, villainize him because he made money or whatever. God doesn't say you have to be poor, you know. So take a look at things like that when you're rallying against, oh, that evil whatever rich dude, or you know, whatever. Things like that will make your business not prosper. And Joel Osteen, what he was saying today was, God wants people of integrity, people of honor, people who are trustworthy. A person of integrity is open and honest and true to their word. He says what he means and what he says. She doesn't have any hidden agendas or ulterior motives. He doesn't need a legal contract to force him to fulfill his commitments. People of integrity are the same in private as they are in public. They do what's right whether anybody is watching or not. And that is the biggest one. Are you doing right when people aren't looking? Like, I could never get ahead in sales. I've never been able to make more than 220 grand a year. I always stayed between 160 and 220. But I was addicted to drugs. So I would do drugs, and I wouldn't tell my wife. And I wouldn't be as honest. Or I would tell her I did some, but not as many. And even though we had a good life and we made a lot of money, and we didn't go without or whatever, but there was always something going on. There was always a problem. There was always something went wrong. Have a good month, have a bad month, have a good month, have a bad month, never crossing this barrier. I'd be reading Tony Robbins books, and I'd be going to sales seminars and Dale Carnegie and all this stuff, and I really worked at being a better salesperson and learning and doing and trying to do what was right and building a business on the side and doing all that. But nothing got me there faster than when my wife made me realize that every little thing of integrity, like saying, hey, I took those pills. I was hooked on pain pills for a long time. And I would say, or I wouldn't tell her for like a week or two, but then I would tell her. But then I wouldn't tell her while I was doing it, and then she would ask me if I was doing it. And then, so all this stuff. Or I'd go to the bar and I'd tell her I only had, 3 drinks when I had more, or we did something else, or, whatnot. So all that. Ever since I stopped doing that, and started living with integrity in every moment, I got to tell you, my income has quadrupled. I don't know, maybe not quadrupled, tripled or whatever. We now have like a $2 million business. And we've tried to start businesses for God knows how long. I've tried to start businesses since I was 8 years old. My first one was the best idea I had. You called and you could get a plumber, electrician, a handyman, a construction, any type carpet repair, and you just call one number. They're all pre-screened. They come to your house. You get a discount. They're all background checked and all that, and they've all been checked out. Well, yeah, that business never took off because I always had stuff go wrong, or I never did this, or I never did that. Well, of course, I was in the middle of my addiction at that time, doing stuff, and it just you never got any traction. Ever since I've done the right thing and lived with integrity and I tell my kids if they ask me questions, I tell them the truth. I might reword it so it makes sense to them, but I tell them exactly what's going on. My wife, I tell them. If I'm responsible for a bill, I call up and I pay it. If I'm responsible for any damage, I nicked a car. Listen to this. I nicked a car, or I didn't nick a car. My kids pushed open the door to this brand new car and it nicked it. I left these people my address, my mailing address, my email, my phone number, and I told them to just give me their PayPal email and I'll send them money. And I think the world is so cynical and so sick. I don't think they believe me because they never contacted me. I never got an email. I think they thought I was like trying to scam them because I said I'd send them money via PayPal because that's how I do a majority of our business. And that's where I got a bunch of money in there, so I just send it to them, So and I couldn't find that car again. I couldn't the next day. So it's just amazing to me. And every little thing, my business is booming. We're going to have $2 million in sales this year. It started just my wife and I. My wife trying to make extra money to get those not stupid, they're wonderful essential oils that work very well. They do. She's like, yeah, whatever, you use them all the time. So, we started it for that, and it just grew and grew out of part-time. But just living by God's honor, my income has went up, my life has went up, my relationship with my wife has went up. Now, I don't miss drinking or drugging or anything. I quit that quite a long time ago, but obviously they're hard and I relapsed and I really struggled with it. And, I found other ways to kind of help me. But I really, really struggled with it. But living with integrity every moment of the day, I implore you, if you want to see the biggest changes in your life, if you want to become a better salesman, if you want to become a better business owner, anytime you make a decision, do the right thing. Even if you think it's going to cost you more money or it's going to cost you more time or it's going to cost you more anything, it's going to cost you more not to. When I was 21, I moved here and my sales manager took me and we were hungry. And he went to Carl's Jr. and he told the guy, he's like, look, I came in the other day, you guys messed up my order. And the manager said that they'd replace my meal for our meals for us. And then they would do it every time. And so when I was broke a couple times when I was 21 or 22, I tried it. And I probably did it like 5 or 6 times because I didn't feel right about it, but I was kind of broke. I spent my money on drugs, but whatever. I didn't have any, and so I didn't have any food. So I tried it. I did it a few times. I don't know how many, maybe less than 10, I'm sure, but I don't know. I didn't keep track. But anyways, now every single time since then, literally probably 90% of the times. Everything is messed up, and not everything, something is always messed up in my order or missing. And so the universe, karma, God, whatever, it pays you back. So when you're being a little dishonest all day, and you're doing the things not right that aren't honoring God, you're not going to get ahead. You're not going to get to the next level. I don't know that for sure. I just know what's happened to me. So if this helps you in any way, I just encourage you to do the right thing, honor God, get some of these bigger names to start talking more about God and how doing the right thing and honoring God is the path to success. That's what we need more of in this world. We need more God and a lot less, just bad stuff that happens out there. So just start in yourself. Don't try to change the world. Just change yourself. Try to do a better person. Your business will explode. Your relationship will explode. And you'll touch the lives of anybody that's around you. I now have 10 employees. I'm helping hundreds of timeshare owners. I've sent almost $1 million in checks to them. and just everything has just gone good, and I can't thank God enough, and I will do my best to honor God every day. It is still a challenge every day. It's amazing how much stuff you do wrong, even when you think you're being right. So really take a look at yourself, do the right thing, put in the comments if you have any questions or suggestions or anything else you want me to talk about. But I'm going to do some videos, try to do once a week, just some motivation, hopefully. And as soon as I get to that millionaire status, I'm going to be preaching this from the top of the mountain, because living with integrity and doing the right thing is the best thing you can do for us as a society, for us as a people, and for everything else. I'm going to have a website eventually, fatherpreneur.com, where I'm going to get tips and stuff and try to get other like-minded people together. All right? God bless. Take care.